guys, I know it's been a while since I've posted anything, and there's actually a pretty good reason for that. I've just been adjusting to my school and stuff, and I want to get back onto a routine where I'm posting more frequently, better content, hopefully, because now that everything's changing with the pandemic and a lot of stuff is going on politically, I just wanted to, take some time to build myself and get myself to a point where I'm comfortable.
Can you guys keep it down?
But yeah, it's been a wild ride, personally, because YouTube is not everything. There is a lot out there that I have to do. I have entrepreneurship that I have to put a lot of time into, and yeah, it's strange. But I promise you guys, we are really working on some new stuff that I think you'll like. A bunch of skits, really funny ideas for things that are relevant to 2020 and 2021. Hope you guys enjoy those ones that are coming up. And make sure you subscribe, because right now I think we're at like 22 subscribers on my channels. Come on, y'all. Suggest it to your friends, because that's how we grow. So, what was I going to say after this? I hope you enjoy this video, and yeah, let's get into it. Okay guys, so I'm actually going to be doing something really special today. So I'm going to be doing an interview with some kids on campus and see what they think about some things that are going on. It's really weird right now, so let's get into it. Wait, what? I just have to see something.
Are you taking a video of me?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so hi. How's it going? I'm George's best friend.
No.
Yo, wait, I need to show you. There's this guy named Brooks. I need to let you meet
No.
Brooks.
I want you guys to come over here and do an interview.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
set up the table there.
Oh,
We're doing an interview. I'll tell you later. Hey, come on. Sit down, come on. Guys, come on.
Any fit or just that?
No, it doesn't. So I'm gonna be sitting right over there. No, you won't get in trouble. If you get in trouble, I'll get in trouble. So it's fair. It's fine. Okay. So I'm gonna be interviewing you guys.
Okay.
And I'm gonna hold the camera.
Why do I need to hold it? Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Is this for school or just for YouTube?
It's just for YouTube.
Oh,
If you guys don't want it, it's fine.
I want to do it.
I like YouTube. All right, let's do this.
No, I'm saying it would be better.
Can you do it long ways?
Long ways. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. All right, make sure you can capture both me and if you can.
All right, I need to back up then.
Okay. So first question is, as a child of the new generation, what do you think the people's response to climate change has been? And do you think it's been enough?
I think no one cares about it. And a few people do.
Really?
A lot of people have created like their own like
You have to
throwing away kind of. A lot of people created like their own like throwing away kind of thing. Like, oh, the climate always changes. But science has shown, and it's been showing for like several years, that this is a serious issue that needs to be tolerated. And the problem with it is that it's not a problem that can be easily solved, especially for politics, right?
So you're saying that because it's been recurring for tens of years, that it's going to be going forever because people are used to it now?
Yeah, it's become like such a recurring message that like, oh, it's always in the background.
What I think is that, so I think Generation Z, that's our generation, I think they believe in it, the way they're bringing awareness to it is not working at all. Like, really, all they're doing is just, like, saying on their Instagram story or, like, saying on TikTok, like, oh, climate change exists, but, like, how many people is that getting to? Like, around 100K or so? Like, there's no way that it's going to be getting to, like, the Oval Office or something like that.
So you're saying that Gen Z is mostly, like, talking to the people around them, but not the people who actually
mostly. It's
need
just
to.
local.
Yeah. So, yeah, we have to go. But we'll be back with more after this intermission.
first question for you. Do you think that people are doing enough for climate change? Or like, do you think it's real? Do you think it's not real?
I definitely think climate change is real. I think part of it is natural, but there's definitely a lot of like man-made stuff that goes into how fast it's changing. And I think we could be doing more, but people are choosing not to because of the economy.
Like, what would you do if you like had your way right now?
Personally, I would like install a plan to like decrease the use of like fossil fuels and stuff. And like we noticed kind of over the quarantine, like the overall like carbon levels in the atmosphere and stuff went down because people were driving less. So if we could implement like a half work from home, half at work kind of system so that we weren't emitting as much carbon through like cars and stuff like that, I feel like it would be a good idea.
Do you think that the past generations have had anything to do with that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you look back until like the Industrial Revolution and waste was just like dumped everywhere with no concern for the environment. So I think that that definitely had an impact on the earth.
I'd like to give these guys a bit of speaking time too. Like, what would you think about misinformation in our society? Like, is it a big deal? Is it as rampant as many people say it is?
Misinformation in our society is a pretty big deal, and I would say it's pretty rampant, especially due to the events of, at the time of this recording, last week with the, raid at the Capitol. That was completely fueled by misinformation regarding the election, and misinformation continues to play a role even in global politics, with countries such as like Russia and China, creating fake accounts and putting out misinformation on the internet.
Yeah, I can resonate with that. Do you think that foreign powers had anything to play in that?
Yeah, foreign powers have completely taken use of, many social media platforms, and even some platforms such as Facebook's lack of moderation to just put rampant misinformation, which is really taking a toll on people's ability to, believe actual information. I mean, people are sitting here just dismissing, real news. And I think even some news stations have a part to play in this, where people will go on Facebook, they will see misinformation, they'll turn on the news, and they will see the same misinformation.
Do you guys think that it's harder to find information that's reliable in the information age than it should be?
I think it's hard to find information that's like that is the full story. I think a lot of credible news sources are saying like factual information, but I just think it's just not the whole story a lot of times. I think they leave out some very important like key parts of it. So I think right now it is hard to get reliable information because you have to go out of your way to look for it, for the whole story.
I see. So if there was like an app that had credible sources that were often challenged by other experts and talked about so that everyone had a say, would you think that's reliable, or would you think that's not going far enough?
If I could take this one. I think that for me, I would definitely see that as reliable, and I would see that as something that I could readily go to if I want to find out exactly what's going on. But I'm not like the average person. I'm not the one that you need to convince that climate change is real. I'm not the person that you need to convince that the earth is round, because I don't know, I like to think that I'm a sensible guy. But nowadays, like, people choose the facts that they want.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not like there's some big Russian oligarchy or whatever that's like dragging the public who are kicking and screaming into a place where they have something over their eyes and they can't see the truth anymore. Because people want to not see what's actually real. I mean, take Facebook for example. Facebook takes people, their search history and things like that, and then they put them together with other people of the exact same opinions, whether it be far right, far left, extreme middle. If you have someone with similar ideals, then you go around and then you have those discussion boards.
So you're saying that these big apps and multimedia corporations are helping to radicalize the people from either the left or to the right, and it's not helping America's.
Sure, because I mean, you're no longer getting the full spectrum of ideas, because once you have your little niche and you know what's going on, or at least you think you do, because you're surrounded by people who share the same extreme ideology that you do, then you no longer see objective opinions. You see that you're right and that other people are wrong, and that the facts bear you out, because you don't ever see like conflicting opinions that are educated and things like that. Because if I'm like a super far right person, right, then I never see really far right left ideals as anything other than maybe terrorist or something extremely crazy. Because I never see them as a logical argument, and I can have an actual spirited debate, right? Because that's what we need more of. We need informed people to have informed debates, but we can't have that because everyone's so polarized and they're so narrowed down into their own small opinions. And I'm not saying everyone's opinion is small, because obviously your opinion matters, but at the same time, you got to do what's best for the greater good. And I mean, honing down and doubling down on something that you may or may not believe in, but are willing to defend, like even past the point of reason and logic, because you've been proven wrong by people who are credible, like whoever you would have in the app that you just discussed. That's when things get out of hand, and that's when things like what we saw on Wednesday happen. Because, I mean, what are you going to do if everyone has their own set of facts, their own set of reality, and anyone who encroaches on that, they're seen as being an unpatriotic, someone who wants to destroy the reality that they have. If my reality was in danger, I'm going to protect it.
Yeah.
The only thing is, I like to think I see reality for what it is and not exactly what I want it to be.
I think you touched on something really important. I'm gonna let them take it from here because you did say a lot that was really important though. So like, I want to speak to you right now. What would you say is one of the main factors that goes into misinformation right now, and how would you fix it if you were, like, what would you do to get people out of their comfort zones?
I mean, like, definitely one of the main factors in misinformation is people, like he said, just want to hear what they perceive the world as. Like,
Just could you try to speak up a little bit because I don't really have a mic.
yeah, great.
It's okay.
So people want to hear about like how they perceive the world. They want to hear that when they look at news, and so like they don't want to hear opposing sides because that's a threat, and quite frankly, it's just more work to deal with. So like in terms of like education, you can try and focus on things like debate and getting people to see multiple sides of an argument, or just more rationally assess a situation than just like going with the first thing you hear that aligns with your belief.
Would you say that because of this misinformation, it's harder to get work done? Or would you say that because of this misinformation, we get to see people's true colors?
What was the first part of the question? I didn't hear.
Do you think that it's making things harder to do, like innovation and things like that? Do you think it's harder when people are divided on what facts are true?
Yeah, not only just divide, but just thinking less rationally. It's harder to get things done that you need to, when you need to look at a situation as it is. Like if you're looking at something through a hugely slanted lens, then you can't think about it as you need to like actually bring about change or innovation.
Thank you guys for your time, for like contributing to this, because this is a really important topic. And I think a lot of people don't understand that young people think about these things. And I'm just glad you participated. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
No problem.
Yeah, thank you. Do you mind if I ask what this is for?
Yeah, it's for my YouTube channel and for a business expo that I'm participating in. I'm trying to fight misinformation with an app. Yeah.
I like that.
Oh, thanks. All right, that's good. That's good. That's good. All right. So the first questions I'd like to ask you guys is about climate change and whether you think it's real, if it's a real issue, and what you would do about it if you had your way.
Yes, of course it's real, but I think that some of the solutions that are sometimes brought forwards are unrealistic.
How so?
Like the Green New Deal, I think it's a little excessive. I think there's stuff we can do besides spending $2 trillion and charging a bunch of people with extreme high taxes.
Well, some people who push the Green New Deal say that charging people taxes is not exactly something new that we've done, because 52% of the tax budget goes to America's military, which far outspends its next competitor, China, which by $600 billion, I believe.
Yeah, America's military budget also has to protect the entire world because we're kind of like the big brother for the entire world. So, while it is like one country, America kind of defends the entire world.
True. Many people believe that, and that's not necessarily wrong. Some people, especially from the right, say that we should become less involved with other countries. But that's a whole nother debate. I would like to talk to you guys about like misinformation and its impact on our society too.
All right, go
like,
ahead.
My question for you guys is, how is the media portraying the truth, and what do you think misinformation is doing to people, average citizens, who just want to get by?
It's all false. All the media nowadays.
Like 90% of media is so false.
You cannot listen to it. You gotta come up with your own opinions.
Like they said Trump was the first president not to visit the troops on Thanksgiving, but he was in Iran or Iraq or something visiting the troops. They said he blew up a factory in, like, I don't know, where was it, Iran, but it was a stock video of someone knocking down a building. Or something like that. I don't know.
Was that a viral video?
I don't know the full context. I just know
like
that.
the time they accused him of calling
what was that dude?
The troops.
Like, I don't understand why they try to
bad names.
And it's not from like a lighter ref perspective, but like I think why would you try to beat your president down? Why don't you try to like build him up? I mean, like we don't have to like Joe Biden, but if he's gonna do something good, let's help him.
Yeah.
Let's not be jerks. Like.
So do you think that it's so divided that people can't see the good or the bad?
Yeah, it used to be fine. Like, I'm voting for Gore. I'm voting for Bush. Great. Now every time they bring it up, some people fight. It's stupid.
So do you think that?
I truly believe the media created that divide. They told people Republicans are bad or liberals are bad. Like, why?
Dude, who's that dude who was outside the Lincoln Memorial when he got trashed so bad, and now CNN's paying him like $500 million?
Oh, the guy wearing the MAGA
hat.
Yeah.
Clifford. Sandman. Yeah. What's your next question?
I was gonna ask you if the media was completely perfect, which it will never be.
Never.
If people were given the truth after all of this, do you think they'd accept it and trust it, or do you think it would?
People are never gonna listen. People are never gonna listen.
I see.
I mean, the media shouldn't be for opinions. You should just give the information as it is. There should be no opinions.
That's for the people to interpret.
So, do you think that if there was a site that pulled from reliable facts, like from AP, and from other sources that contradicted each other, and allowed people to communicate about things and talk from different viewpoints and not just suggest stuff?
Not what humanity wants. Humanity wants what they want to hear. That's why there are things like
exactly, which is why we need to break the cycle. Which is why we need to break the cycle.
I mean, like normal people, like if like the people that are in it for the facts, not what they want to hear, not for the emotional side of it, but for the logical side of it, that would work.
I guess I believe that a lot of people would like that.
I would.
I know a lot of people would really like it if there was truth on both sides and not just divisions.
I think it'd take a long time for people to like believe that, especially since what they've like started. It'd take like if someone heard that what they didn't want to hear, I still feel like they'd claim to be false.
So you think transparency is key?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like, my dad always says, like, even if it's, like, I mean, there's liberal propaganda and there's also Republican propaganda. You can't believe everything both sides say. You gotta take everything at face value. Like, don't let, like, when you read something, does it make you angry? Well, that's fine, it makes you angry, but don't live off the anger. Go research it. Go find out if it's right or wrong.